Hey guys, welcome back to another Elden Ring build video. This time we are going with a faith and strength build that utilizes the great sword here. The Colossal Swords received a huge buff in the latest 1.04 patch to really help the moveset recovery time, which means that you are much more nimble when you're fighting with these huge swords. You're able to get in and out of damage situations, you're able to trade a lot better, and of course the Colossal Swords are just so cool looking as well. So we're utilizing this one here for a faith crossover with strength. You can see right here that we are doing 797 AR already with our greatsword, and we have got this scaled here as a heavy greatsword using the wet blade, and this gives us a strength scale of A. You can see my levels over here. I've got 50 in Vigor, 30 Mind, 30 Endurance, 55 Strength, 25 Dex, left Intelligence and Arcane by themselves, and then I've got Faith at 60. And the reason we are using these attributes is so we can really get the most out of a lot of different weapons and utilize a lot of strength heavy weapons like the Colossal Swords, and also swords like the Blasphemous Blade, also things like the Sacred Relic Sword, the Inseparable Sword. Lots of these swords also scale really well, and then Malekith's Black Blade as well is absolutely crazy with the damage that it can do. It's got an amazing Ash of War, and you can really take your pick with some of these huge swords, and this is why this build is so versatile and so fantastic. I'm also using Erdtree's Seal here. This is an S scaling in Faith, and it requires 40 Faith, so it really helps with a lot of our incantations that also receive lots of buffs as well. Chucking a shield on here as well, just to make sure we've got some damage negation, but you really don't need it with this build. As you saw in those intro clips, you absolutely melt bosses with this thing. Taking advantage of Raptor's Black Feathers here for jump attacks. With the Colossal Swords, the jumping R1 is great, the jumping R2 is amazing, and now with this recovery, you can really get out of there. Using Bloodhound Step on this as well, which is just completely broken, so you can get that chip damage in, and then just Bloodhound Step back. Which is absolutely fantastic with these swords. You really can't go wrong with this build, especially against bigger bosses. You can just zip around. Going here with the Sacred Scorpion Charm to help with our holy damage, it raises that attack. The Radagon Sword Seal is absolutely ridiculous with the attribute raises that it gives you, so you can't go wrong there. Shard of Alexander is not really required when I'm using the Greatsword. However, if I'm using the Blasphemous Blade, definitely have this on. I'd definitely go with something like the Green Turtle Talisman to give a bit of stamina recovery with this build, because the jump attacks do take a lot of stamina, and then I've got the Claw Talisman here to boost those jump attacks even further, and that is why this build is actually just ridiculous. So you can also see this is boosted up a lot by some of the incantations we're using. So I start off definitely always using Golden Vow. It is a must-have, raises that attack. Flame Grant Me Strength is also really great, and then I'm using Electrify Armament here to boost up my Greatsword, my Colossal Sword, even further, and you can see now we're at 1195, so a big boost. You get that start on the boss fight. Also using in my Flask of Wondrous Physic the boost to strength, so again it's going to boost that up now 1244, just that little bit of extra damage, plus you get that tanky hit there with the bubble tier as well, which is great to start a boss fight. Also, what I really love about this build here is you've got the range with the Black Blade incantation, which also lowers bosses' health, and now that's shown with the new patch. You can see how much health you're actually lowering. Fortisak's Lightning Spear is brilliant now. It really gives you that AoE damage, so you can, you know, take that chip damage and then just zip straight out of there with Bloodhound Step. And then I've just got on here the Lightning Spear. I'm not really loving Lightning Spear at the moment, but I thought I'd give it a try. Just, it's, you know, for those trash mobs that you can just really get rid of. As for the other options in here, as I said before, there's lots of other swords that you can use to really make this build great as well. So lots of variety, lots of preference. Malekith's Black Blade, as I said, it's absolutely brilliant. You really cannot go wrong with any of these swords. The Inseparable Sword as well, when you got the Shard of Alexander on, this just absolutely monsters with this build. Plus you get all that health back, which is, you really can't go wrong with this. And then there's lots of other different things in here all through these swords that you can really mess around with. enjoy. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're really liking the new patch. I've been loving the changes so far. Really good to have a bit more variety with lots of different incantations to explore. Once again, if you've learned something, remember to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know what you're using and what builds you want me to cover next. Appreciate it.